Well, now as you know, this is an interview, and I want to ask you that how do you feel to be here in Yachay?
Pretty good. It's been a very good experience. It's a very interesting project, so we are all pretty happy to be here.
Um, and what do you expect to in Yachay in 5 years? What do you think that will be Yachay in 5 years from now?
Well, the expectations are pretty good. I think that this university, if it continues in the same trend, with good faculty and good students and doing the right research, then the university is going to start positioning itself among the top universities in the country, and then
Allow the
overpass them and become one of the top universities
Latin America and from there.
in Latin America. But that's going to take time, not 5 years.
Yeah, not 5 years, but in a short time, do you think the university with new engineers,
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely.
new
One
chemicals?
one of the good things is that the faculty that are here now, they do pretty good research.
What do you think about the careers that the university have? The president put Yachay because the careers that are here are not in the other universities around the country.
Well, I think that certainly, if you want a university like Yachay, a new university, Yachay Tech, to become top, there's a number of ways that you can do this. And one of those is to have top faculty, top students, but also have programs that maybe you can have the same programs that other universities have, but you have to have programs that makes a difference, that anybody else doesn't have. So the other programs that Yachay is putting together are not in any other university, and that makes the difference. So you are calling the attention of everybody to this new set of programs besides the other typical ones, but this new set of programs are different and do put an accent on saying, no, we are not only just different, but since these are new careers that are supposed to solve problems not only in Ecuador, but in the planet, then you have something that nobody else has. But for that, you need to have good students, but mostly good faculty. And when I say good, it's not people that teach us very nice and tell nice jokes, for example, no. But you need faculty that does good research, top-notch, forefront of the line research in those areas. In our case, for example, renewable energies, energy management, and that type of thing.
Well, how or when do you know about this project? Like in the news or?
Okay, yeah. Well, no, I have been associated with this project for about 2 years and a half now. When I was working in Chile, I met one of the faculties, Professor Javier Carvajal, that has been involved somehow with this, and he invited me to come to have some discussions on what will happen and what do we think and what about the city of knowledge that in those days was just on the plans, on the drawing board. So we started with that. I came 2 times, and then last February, I came for the think tank. That was about precisely what you were saying, the what careers are going to be given here at Yachay. And I participated in putting together the programs, the courses, and how the career will work, and the common plan of courses that all of you guys have to take the first year and a half, all the chemistries, all the physics, all the maths, etc., and the biology, all those courses. So I knew the program from then, so it is very different to participate in a program when you see it from afar, or know that the program is coming, or the project is coming, but then come here to the think tank and say, oh wow, this thing is coming, and I saw what the building construction was there a year and a half ago. It has nothing to do with what you see today. It was very, very different. And then I was invited to come over here as a faculty, and then you see the difference. So I knew the program for a long while, and seeing a program or this project starting from practically scratch and then taking shape, it's very interesting
Oh, I see.
and challenging.
And well, you say that a friend um, bring you to the information from Yachay and Javier Carvajal. And what do you think about the project when the first time that you are listening?
Well, it was a nice idea because the time that I heard about this the first time
In
was
what time?
was 12, I mean 20, by the end of 2011. By the end of 2011, yes. And then what we were talking about by Javier precisely was precisely that the president of Ecuador, President Rafael Correa, had this project that he wanted to develop, and it was like this, and that has all these many features, and we're going to be the top-notch university in the country and in Latin America, and that's the plan. It's going to be part of a city of knowledge, so a city. So really, the project was that we learned about was building a new city of knowledge, high-tech city,
Yes.
in which a fraction of that will be the university. So the university will be embedded in the city. So I learned that, and I said, oh well, then a city it's really nice, but then the university in the city is even better. But then the typical question starts, well, how much funds are available for doing this? So a number of questions start being posed and arise because we did not know. I did not know. So I talked with Javier, with the other faculty from all the other countries in Latin America, Europe, Belgium, France, England, New Zealand. All these people were coming, and I was part of those teams. And then we realized that it was a very nice and interesting project. And then after time started passing by, then you realize, oh wow, this is going to be really good. But one thing that makes the difference is that there's a will to do this. So, and that will and that driving force is being set up by the president of the country. So this is not a private people that say, yeah, we're going to do this and that. And this happens in Chile a lot, where universities start showing up with the time, like here and there. Some disappear, some others grew up and all that, but those are private efforts. This is a country effort. So that it's very different, because then now it's a goal set up by the country, because this university and the other ones that are being created at the same time with the same characteristics have their budget approved by the Senate. So the budget to run the university is part of the national budget. And that is good, because if not, you will say, well, this university can last until the president period lasts, and then goodbye. And that is not the case in here. So we see that, and that is a difference. And the will to do things in a different way, different set of mind or mindset in how things are going to be done here in Ecuador, not being more a buyer of technology, ideas, and projects, but rather be a developer of ideas. So changing the switch in people, so things are going to be developed here. The research is going to be done here. Inventions that you guys as students are going to be doing here, that's the idea.
And when you was a child, do you ever think about your life now, or do you want to study another thing, or what is the reason that you study chemistry?
That's very interesting. When I was a kid, I liked science. So I remember when I was about 10 or 12, my parents gave me a set of it was a game called Química Mágica, Magic Chemistry. It came with a little test tubes and little pots with some chemical compounds. So I started mixing this and that, and you could do this experiment and the other experiment, and get some figures and all that. So I started doing my own things. It was a little booklet, and I real soon put it away and start doing my own thing. But I got scared, because one day I started mixing this and that, and then the test tubes start getting warm, and all of a sudden I stepped back and the whole thing exploded, but the test tube remained there. It didn't blow away or blew up. So and then the thing exploded, and I look up and there was nothing, and then like 30 seconds later, I felt all these pieces of the chemical compounds coming down and showering over me. So that was the beginning, and then I started liking this. I started reading a lot about chemistry, and I get fascinated by stories about Einstein and these guys, but that was more towards physics. But then I found people that were working on chemistry. So then I started doing my own experiments at home. So I like it that very much, so I save some money then when my parents send me to buy bread or buy this and that to the market. I save some coins and then I go ahead and buy some materials in chemistry. And I started manufacturing deionized water, distilled water. So for that you need a refrigerant. So I made my own refrigerant with a little pot with water and ice, and with that I could condense the water that I was evaporating from the beginning. So my dad was pretty happy because in those days, many moons ago, this distilled water that now you can buy anywhere was not as available, particularly in Chile in those days. There were some political issues that make things not easy to acquire. But with that, then we have distilled water for the battery of the car, to put in the car itself, in the radiator, and as well for the iron. So it was pretty good. My dad was happy. So I started getting this feeling that, oh, this is good. So my dad gave me a piece of a big old piece of furniture, and where I can put my chemicals. So that's how I started. Then they give us for Christmas a microscope, and I started looking at what happened in these little pots or ponds of water that get piled up when it rains in Santiago, and then or in the countryside, in the farm. So I took some of that, I bring the microscope, started looking at it, and then I got interested in insects, you know, and studied entomology. So that you start little by little realizing what you like.
But you also would like to study biology, like
I
you
wanted
say,
to study medicine.
and medicine.
Yes.
And you chose the chemist.
Yes, I chose chemistry because I like these stories about all these people, because I choose chemistry because a friend of mine told me that doctors have to study some math at the very beginning. And since I didn't like math, I decided to study chemistry. But little I knew that chemistry is a lot of math.
Yes.
And then I studied quantum chemistry, which is way much more math than I wanted.
I think that when you have too many titles, or you study too much some subject like chemistry, it will be related with math and some science. It's like physics. When you study a lot of physics, you need a part of math. Is correct or
Well, nowadays, if you study the basic sciences, physics, math, chemistry, biology, just to name those that are not really math, except math, you really need to know math. And you can ask my colleagues in the biology area that they need to study math. And in fact, when you want to study the properties of matter, you really need to know math. And high math, I mean, the courses that you're going to take, like calculus 1, 2, and 3, with vector analysis, differential equations, linear and non-linear, that is just the beginning. So, and then it will come some more. So, for example, when you study physics and quantum chemistry and quantum physics, there is no frontier saying, no, this is physics, this is chemistry, here's the borderline. No, that doesn't happen anymore. In fact, when you do research nowadays, you put together interdisciplinary teams. And there might be a chemist, a physicist, a biologist, a mathematician, people that work together to solve problems that before people thought, no, this is my problem, this is chemistry problem, so I'll solve it. I'm not going to put anybody else that has nothing to do with this. That was a thought. Nowadays, even the institutions that give you grants, money for doing the research, they love to see these type of teams because they understand, and now we all understand that interdisciplinary teams are the best to solve problems, because the researchers, the one that is a chemist, see the problem from the chemistry perspective. The mathematician from that angle, or maybe he or she can contribute from that side. But the physicist see it from the other side, the biologist from another side, the geography guy from another side, the geology guy from another side. So all these new perspectives gives a much broader understanding of a problem and help you solve the problem. And on top of that, you put some, depending on the project, you can put anthropologists, social studies guys, etc. So depending on the project, you put all these teams, but the idea to work with colleagues in other areas of knowledge is way much more, let's say these days, on fashion than, no, you do your own problem, you solve your own problem because you know how to do it and forget it. No, the idea is to form teams and to make something to stay after the project is done, not just, we solve the problem, that's it, we do it, we report.
And in other side, what are your favorite activities to do? Not, don't say that I love to study and love to be bossy. Favorite activity like sports
Jobs.
or something like that
Jobs.
in Yachay. What are you? How you spend your time, your free time?
Well, one of the things that I like to do is to walk. We have gone out with Professor Romero to where the new botanic garden is going to be. So walking on there is good. I like Yachay a lot because I'll say about maybe more than half of my life I spent living in the countryside. The farm of my grandparents, they do have two of those. So I live between those two farms and the house in the beach. So in the city I didn't spend that much time, but the countryside is what I really like. We get early in the morning, go and milk the cows and take the cows out of the corral and take them pasturing. That's what I like. In sports over here, we just started with playing soccer and that type of thing, but besides that, I like classic music.
Music, you love music also?
Yes.
Which
Sometimes I
instrument
sing.
do you like to?
No, I used to play flute, but not anymore. Yeah, it's been a while since I played that, but I like to sing more.
When it's karaoke, you will sing.
Yeah, but not the Justin Bieber type of
no,
songs.
Oh.
And do you
No,
want?
not with all my respect to Justin Bieber, but no.
His music is not allowed.
No, I mean, I'm fine. I mean, some people might like it. It's just me that I don't like that type of music. I like other type of music. People call it the serious music.
Mozart.
Yeah, that type of thing. Yeah.
I have a question about Yachay. We know why Yachay is here is to change the country, to create new technologies. Okay, we would like to know your opinion. What do you think about there are some people who are against to the extract natural resources of Ecuador. So there are some people that they are against to extract natural resources.
You are saying that these people that are against the use of natural resources?
No, there are some people who are against to exploit natural resources from Ecuador.
Okay.
And they say that the solution we need to live to depend or we need to leave the natural resources
By themselves, by their own.
exactly,
And not touching them.
not touch the resource, okay, but at the same time Ecuador needs to develop new technologies or but the president of Ecuador, Rafael Correa, have said that the solution is, or part of the solution is, okay, we need the natural resources to get money, to get economic resources, and invest in creating new technology. But to create technology by ourselves, we need money, we need natural resources. Okay, we cannot stop to explore the natural resource to create new technology because we need money. Where do we get the money from the natural resources? So that the solution is not. The president said the solution is not to stop exploring the natural resource.
Mm.
Solution is use that money for the natural resources to invest to create new technology. For example, Yachay.
Mhm.
Okay. What do you think of that? You agree with that?
Yeah, I was wondering
Yeah.
what was your question because
Yeah.
so far, okay.
I try to explain.
No, that's fine.
difficult in English.
So your question, or your yes, okay, what do I think?
Yeah, what do you
about
think?
that?
Yeah, about this.
Okay, well, you mentioned a number of things that certainly are connected, but I will separate a couple of things, and let me just explain a little bit myself. First of all, if you take a step back on what that is, and number one, let me say that all that is up to Ecuadorians. I am not an Ecuadorian, so whatever is going to be decided to be done in the country has to be decided by the Ecuadorians. I am not, and I am not an Ecuadorian, so that's number one.